We'll get to the Bridgewater Now in just a little bit, but we do want to update you on a story that made the rounds on social media throughout the week, and it was a 67-year-old Bridgewater man who was missing, and unfortunately the search has come to an end as the body of the man was found late Wednesday afternoon. There were a number of agencies helping out in this search, including the Bridgewater Police Department, also the Southeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council, the search and rescue team, and there was also a canine search team and infrared cameras before a Massachusetts Department of Correction canine team ultimately found the man's body in a wooded area near the Scotland Industrial Park. According to police reports, there is no foul play suspected in the man's death. However, as is standard procedure, the death is under investigation by the police detectives and the state police detectives assigned to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office. Bridgewater Police Chief Chris Del Monte did release a short statement saying, quote, "The Bridgewater Police Department would like to offer its sincere condolences to the family of our resident. We appreciate the response of our surrounding communities, police, and fire departments from throughout the region that joined the search effort," end quote. Welcome to this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck. On Wednesday night, the BR School Committee met for the first time since their meeting back on November 3rd, ended after only 9 minutes and this exchange.
So if you are not following the rules of the building, I would please ask that you put a mask on or you leave, and that sign is not necessary. So I would ask you to please leave, or I will just adjourn our meeting, and we will not continue.
It's called freedom of speech.
This is not a public meeting. We are meeting in public. I'm asking you to please leave with your sign, sir. I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Madam Chair, so moved.
The chair of the committee, Rachel King, addressed the final moments of that meeting, in part saying that there were many people that she and the committee had to think about at that time.
I believed it was prudent to adjourn the meeting rather than allow the matter to escalate. Aside from school committee members, admin, and members of the public in attendance, we had middle and high school students in attendance as well that I do have to think about. Our children are watching us, and it's our role to be role models to them. We adjourned not because we do not want to hear what the public has to say, but because we have procedures and guidelines we need to follow as a school committee. Yes, we are elected officials, but we are still unpaid volunteers, and we're tasked with the overseeing of the superintendent and the school committee budget and policy. And we're not able to do our job at our last meeting. So we will continue to have Zoom meetings for the next several meetings, so I can ensure that we can conduct the business that we are tasked to do for our children.
There were two people who spoke during the public comment portion of the meeting who disagreed with the November 3rd meeting ending abruptly and were also frustrated with the district's involvement with the DESE guidelines.
Despite whatever DESE recommends for the school, the students, the teachers, they can recommend that all day for the schools if they want to, but that's not to say that there are not folks in the community who cannot wear a mask for a medical reason. So those people should not be shunned from the meeting and specifically pushed aside for any reason at all. So I personally want to say that because I am that person. And I was in the audience, and because I cannot wear a mask, now we're sitting in a Zoom meeting. Why? Because you feel like you just need to follow the policies? Because the policies are really more important than health? Because that's my health. You're following the DESE recommendations because the state and the federal funding that has been given to the district is well over $3 million. And at this point, it looks like you're taking that money and continuing to ignore the health of the kids because of the money. Sounds like you've probably already allocated where that money is going to go. And at this point, you're not going to give it back. So unfortunately, I think your points about you're trying to take into consideration children's health, I don't think you are at all.
One of the fourth grade things were shut down October because the transmission happened from one of the adults. And yet they were masked and fully vaccinated. So I don't understand why the committee doesn't fight for the parents up against DESE. It just seems like it's all about the money and nothing else.
There were a couple of bright spots in the meeting as high school principal Angela Watson discussed how a junior in the high school made QR codes to help kids sign into class. For the time being, they were using pens and paper, but a student brought an idea forward that would link a QR code to a Google spreadsheet, and over 250 QR codes have been made so far. And Superintendent Derek Swenson took a moment to recognize David Hines, who is an assistant principal at Bridgewater Middle School, for saving a student with the Heimlich maneuver. Mr. Swenson said that a student appeared to be in some distress, and at that time, Mr. Hines came over to perform the maneuver to successfully dislodge the food. And you can watch replays of the meeting on channels 22, 98, and also online at btvaccess.com. Bridging Lives is a community coalition in the Bridgewater-Rainham area that works to provide strategies aimed at reducing substance use by increasing awareness, providing education, and offering support within the community. The group recently came out with a video that talks about the Bridging Lives efforts and what it does for those communities, including at the school level.
Bridging Lives started in 2015, and it is Bridgewater Rainham chapter. And the acronym LIVES stands for Life is Valued Every Second.
I was a patrol officer in a position called the Proactive Enforcement. And during that time, I realized that there were a lot of families who were lost as far as how to get their loved ones help. So I started following up with the families after the fact. A lot of the parents and loved ones expressed that they wanted a coalition, local coalition, to be able to meet.
So Bridging Lives, our local coalition, is part of the larger Brockton Area Prevention Collaborative. And through that collaborative, we receive local, state, and federal funding to address those addictive behaviors and substance abuse, specifically around underage drinking, marijuana use, and tobacco.
I got involved with Bridging Lives because I really liked the focus and the mission, and I liked that the central goal and mission really was around education.
Bridging Lives has been an integral part of our school year.
Even though it is supervised by adults and certainly supported by adults, I think the best part about Bridging Lives is it really is a student organization made up of our own students, led by our own students, and having an impact on our own students.
And we'll have much more from the video and the Bridging Lives group on the next edition of the Bridgewater Review. Let's switch gears now and tell you about a big return for the holiday season. As Christmas on the Common is back, it comes to town on Saturday, December 5th from 12 to 4 p.m. Of course, Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be in attendance, and the holiday classics will be played as you walk through the Common, and local businesses will line both sides of the Common, as this is one of the few times in the year that the Common is shut down to traffic, so if you travel through that area, make sure you take note of that. Food trucks will also be there as well, making sure everybody is fed and happy. And again, the holiday happenings get underway Sunday, December 5th at 12 p.m. At the high school, 3 student athletes took the next step in their athletic journey, all signing their national letters of intent. Jenna Quill signed on to play with Bryant University's women's soccer team. Christian Thornton signed on to play with UMass Lowell's men's lacrosse team. And we've talked about her in the past as Shea Bolin officially signed on to play with the Duke University women's basketball team. And all 3 athletes did have their families join them, and BR Superintendent Derek Swenson was there as well. For the last 30 plus years here at BTV, our studio has had cameras and other TV equipment in it at one time or another. But for one day in December, that's all going to change, and with more on that, here's Bridgewater Garden Club member Sharon Graves.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon Graves, and I'm a member of the Bridgewater Garden Club. I'm here today to tell you about a very exciting event. Our annual Holiday Green Sale will be held on Saturday, December 4th from 9 a.m. to noon in a new location. Because of the ongoing construction at the Senior Center grounds, we will be at the BTV Community Access Television Building off Spring Street, right here in town. If you're not familiar with it, the entrance driveway is right next to Bridgewater Bagel, and the building is in back of it. This event is an opportunity for you to purchase beautiful, fully decorated wreaths, handcrafted holiday swags for your doorways, and gorgeous centerpieces in all shapes and sizes. We will also offer bags of loose greens for you to do your own decorating, and these work perfectly for your window boxes. If you desire, a custom-made bow can be made for you while you wait. All of our hand-decorated items make lovely gifts for friends, family, or the host of a holiday party. So join us, won't you? Saturday, December 4th from 9 to noon at the BTV building off Spring Street behind Bridgewater Bagel. We hope to see you there. The Bridgewater Garden Club wishes you and your family a very happy holiday season.
All right, thank you, Sharon. Can't wait to see everybody here at the studio coming up in a couple weeks or so. Well, who doesn't like pie, especially during this time of the year? Apple, blueberry, pumpkin. I'm getting hungry just talking about this, but the list does go on and on. Social media was buzzing after Reese's announced its Thanksgiving pie was coming out. It weighs about 3.5 pounds and has a 9-inch diameter. The senior associate brand manager for Reese's, Bo Jones, said that when friends and family come together for Thanksgiving dinner, no table spread is complete without dessert. If you're like me, you probably already wanted to buy a couple, but there are only 3,000 available on the Hershey's website for the low cost of $44.99. And lo and behold, they're already sold out. So there goes that plan for Thanksgiving dessert. But you can just bring a big bag of the Christmas tree Reese's. So, bring something to the Thanksgiving table. Thanks for watching this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck.